Welcome back to our barn demolition series. If you missed the first episode where we pushed the barn down, you might want to take a look at that before you watch this one. I'll give you a little background on what we're doing here. My brother Tom and I are having a friendly competition, seeing who can start the best fire the quickest. If you've got a brother, you know how that goes. Doesn't matter how old you get, you still want to have a little competition of some sort. I must confess up front, I think I've got the best place in there to start a fire, so I don't think it was really fair. Also, I had a couple minutes head start. But hey, who's counting? It's a brotherly competition. I got some wood afar. I was in southern Illinois, so I had to turn on my accent a little bit there. Can't say fire.
I can't even get this sack to burn. I had it burning really good.
I got a fire in here, thanks. One more paper sack, just for insurance. And no, we didn't use any diesel. The wood was pretty dry, so we thought we'd go without. Now, you guys had a lot of questions in response to our earlier episode where we pushed the barn down. We'll do our best to answer those right here in this video. Let's start out with a discussion of a fire permit. There's usually several of you that have comments about how we're doing something wrong, we're not following some sort of law or something. We get tired of those comments because, well, most of the time they're made in ignorance of what we're really doing. First, you need to remember where we are. This is rural Midwest. Very few people in this area. In fact, the entire county does not have a stoplight. So while it may seem strange to us suburbanites, the fire permit process is relatively simple.
I think you're going, Tim. I think you're going good. I think you are too.
Tom called Harvey, the volunteer fire department chief, and told him we tore down the old barn. Tom said we were wanting to burn it later in the evening after the wind laid, and Harvey agreed that'd probably be a good idea. It was a little windy that afternoon. So there's our fire permit. I'm sure those of you in the Northeast have a hard time believing that. Okay, let's move on to the most frequent comment on the barn demolition video, and that is, I hope you're saving the wood. I hope you're saving the tin. Lots of people would have paid a lot of money to have that wood. We've had this barn on many episodes, probably 5, 6, maybe even 10 episodes since we've been doing this YouTube channel. In all those episodes, we've only had one guy who actually said, I want the wood, I want the tin. After explaining to him just how far out in the boonies this barn really is, he kind of lost interest.
Look at that blue flame coming
Wow.
Can you see that, Chris?
Yeah.
I did have one opportunity back probably year 2000 to give away all the wood and tin in exchange for having someone tear the barn down and burn the rest of it. At that time, I was thinking like most commenters, hey, this is worth some money. So I tried to get $500 out of the guy, and I never heard from him again. So that's the summary. This barn was in a remote location. It's just too far out to make it cost-effective to reclaim. I hope you guys are enjoying watching this burn. It's kind of mesmerizing to me. It's getting hot now. Let's listen in for a few moments.
Boy, it's getting hot. I can feel it now.
It really is.
Randall had decided the last minute that he might want to save just a little of it, maybe to build a shelf or something. We pulled this piece out, and then when we looked at it the next day, most of the boards were vertically split, so it really wasn't very good quality. We eventually just threw it back on the fire. As you saw in our last episode, barns like this were built for a very specific purpose. They had all the livestock in the first floor, and they kept the hay in the second floor. This particular model is just not useful at all. We don't have livestock around anymore, and the barn just isn't big enough to be able to hold equipment. My location was a good location, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how fast it went when it finally went.
Yeah.
That heat was held down by the ceiling.
Yeah.
And that allowed it all to combust then.
So Uncle Tim's got a bigger flame than I got.
Yeah, that roof is really kind of holding it in and allowing all the wood to burn.
Yes, but it also had enough of a crack, to be a chimney. Let's talk once more about safety. Given the size of the flame here, it's probably worth a revisit. Notice the smoke is basically going straight up at this point. Very little breeze. The grass surrounding this fire is pretty wet. It's burning slowly. We'll let that grass slowly burn outward until it gets to a point where we can get in there. It's really hot. We can't get very close at this point. Once it gets out far enough we can reach it, we'll use a shovel to put out those grass fires. And then having that burned ring all the way around the fire gives us additional safety factor. If you look over on the left side of that tin, you'll see that it's glowing red at this point. It's really hot under there. Okay, next question. Why didn't we burn it while it was standing rather than wasting the time to push it down? There's a couple of reasons. The first is that it's safer. If we burned it standing, it'd be hard to predict exactly which way it was going to fall and how far it was going to fall outward. Overall, just not a very good plan for a weak structure like this, for sure. A second, but less important reason would be that it would just be harder to light. I think you could see that from the early part of this episode. It was much easier to light being all there in a pile on the ground. The comments that we enjoyed the most had very little to do with the actual demolition of the barn. Several folks noticed and commented on the family interaction and just how we work together to get the project solved. Projects like this make memories for our family. We didn't show it on the video, but my mother was there for most of the day. She didn't want to miss out on the fun either. Tom and I, and our sisters, Terry and Dixie, are really thankful to have these times with our parents. Look at that swirl coming out of the end of that roof line there. In some ways, I feel like we should talk a little about the pandemic situation that we're all facing. But then again, I don't know any more than anyone else does. And you know what? We feel like our role is to entertain. And so for now, at least, we'll just go on like we always have and try to provide some entertaining content to keep your mind off what's, well, at the forefront of all of our minds. Maybe this is a good time to go check out the extensive TTWT library. We've got 561 episodes now. I'm estimating about 200 hours of programming. That should keep you busy for a while. Most of our episodes are standalone. They don't really depend on you watching them in a specific order. However, several folks have commented recently that they've gone back in history and watched every single episode that we've produced in order. And we believe them because we see their comments on each individual video. As you likely know by now, we just want to share some fun that we're having in our own lives and hopefully bring some joy to your lives. Yes, there are some serious episodes, like the Kubota BX versus Deere 1025R series, but for the most part, we just try to have fun.
It's finally caught between the two.
After the flames died down, I went home, but Randall stuck around until after midnight. He'd push in a little bit and let it burn a little bit more and then push some more. And this is what it looked like the next morning. This leads to another line of questioning we got on the prior video. Weren't you worried about nails in your tires? And the answer is yes, we were, especially before it had been burned. A nail sticking through a board can spoil your day. But once burned, those nails are less dangerous. They lose some of their strength, but more importantly, they're not held vertical by the board. In any case, you'll notice that we try to do a good job of pushing all the material forward rather than driving over it. Now, we're not finished with our overall project here. Yeah, we've got the barn down, but we've got several other things we want to clean up on this property. As this video draws to a close, you'll see some scenes from the next upcoming project. You'll get to see my dad, who's 87, with his first use of a grapple ever. And we'll get this fire rekindled with some new material. I think you'll find it exciting, so come back soon for the next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.